Hey everyone, welcome to the Weekly Random. You might think that the best place for anyone to be in is in the presence of their parents, but these 10 cases prove that wrong. Here are 10 horrific parents who murdered their children. So Farmville mom, aka Alexandra Tobias, was playing Farmville. Farmville is a farming simulation game on Facebook. Her 3-month-old son Dylan was crying right beside her. She then grabbed Dylan and shook him vigorously. Due to the shaking, his fragile neck was unfortunately damaged, leaving him in pain. He eventually succumbed to his injuries and died. Alexandra was sentenced to 50 years in prison. She had also recently taken one of those Facebook personality tests. The test she took suggested that she may be bipolar. She also told the psychologist that she had previously been raped as a child. The judge who sentenced her suggested that she might have been suffering from postpartum depression. Marvin Gaye was a popular musician between the 60s and 80s. He helped found and shape Motown Records. He was shot by his father, Marvin Gay Snr, who ironically was a minister. Marvin Gay Snr was having an argument with his wife when his son intervened. He then began arguing with his son Marvin Gaye, and then it got physical with his son continuously punching and kicking him. It was thought that Marvin Gay Jr. was getting revenge for all the abuse Sr. had put him through while he was a child. Marvin Gay Snr then went to his room and soon returned to Jr.'s room with a .38 pistol. He shot him twice in the chest, the first shot being the fatal one. This murder was in accordance to a promise that Sr. had made to his children. He said he would murder any of them if they dare lay a finger on him. He was sentenced to 6 years in prison, which got suspended, and 5 years probation. This one was rather unfortunate because it was caused by mental instability, steroid abuse, and brain damage. Nancy Benoit and her son Daniel were killed by her husband Christopher, who also committed suicide after committing the murders. The whole ordeal lasted for 3 days. Nancy died on the first day. She was tied up and died of asphyxiation. Daniel was killed on the second day by strangulation. Then on the third day, Christopher used the weightlifting machine in his house to break his neck, committing suicide. Christopher weirdly left the Bible beside his son and his wife, and one beside the weightlifting machine where he committed suicide. He also left a suicide note in the Bible he had sent to his first wife, reading, "I am prepared to leave this earth." Christopher was a wrestler in the WWE. Mick was charged with attempted murder, assault, and manslaughter for causing the death of 6 of his children by arson. This wasn't the first time Mick was in the limelight. He had previously been on numerous shows due to his large family of about 17 children with numerous women. He was able to fund these children through his benefit-filled lifestyle. Mick's original plan was to set his home ablaze, save his kids, and then blame the attempted murder on his ex-partner who currently had custody of 4 of their children. Unfortunately, Mick's plan failed, and his children, Jade, Jack, John, Jesse, Dwayne, and Jaden, died in the fire. Mick, his wife, Merid, and a friend of theirs, Paul Mosley, were sentenced to 17 years in prison each. Mick is currently trying to appeal his case. Stacie killed her 4-year-old daughter Victoria a night after she had an argument with Victoria's father, where he threatened to divorce her. Victoria was killed on the Monday she was supposed to be enrolled in school. An autopsy performed on Victoria revealed trauma to her head and chest. Stacie's neighbor found Victoria in the trunk of Stacie's car and tried to resuscitate her using CPR alongside Victoria's father, but unfortunately, Victoria was dead. Stacie turned herself into the police and gave a confession. She's currently serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. This case is quite sickening because when Nicole was giving a statement to the police, she seemed like she enjoyed it. Nicole wrapped her son in covering, leaving him to suffocate while she took a very long shower. She was trying to kill him because she simply couldn't cope with the stress of raising him anymore, and while she didn't want to give him up to foster care. Not long after her baby was dead, she posted a picture of his corpse dressed in a white suit and tie with the caption, "R.I.P. Tinkerbutt." April pled not guilty to the murder of her 6-month-old baby. She was accused of smashing Aubrey, her baby's head, by swinging her from the feet into a chair, causing her to land with her head first. After performing this egregious act, she ran to her husband and explained that Aubrey had bounced to the floor after she dropped her on the bed. But of course, this was a lie. He immediately called 911. Aubrey was airlifted to the hospital in response to the call. Aubrey eventually succumbed to her injuries after 3 resuscitations. The possible motive of the murder was Aubrey's crying due to the painful surgery she had had on her deformed foot. Lindsey Lowe was sentenced to 2 life sentences and 25 years behind bars. When Lindsey was brought in front of the court, she apologized. She sincerely apologized. She was charged with the premeditated murder of her twins. The murder took place in her parents' bathroom a few minutes after the twins were born. She smothered the babies and dumped them in a laundry basket. She was trying to hide the babies from her family, even though she was engaged. This was because the babies were a product of an affair she had had. She tried to hide them so she wouldn't disappoint her fiancé and a sick family member. The babies were found in the laundry basket 2 days after their birth by her father, who immediately called the police. Lacey, aka Salt Mom, was charged with 2nd-degree murder and 1st-degree manslaughter after her son died of swelling in his brain due to the high sodium level in his blood. Lacey had poisoned him by feeding him table salt through his feeding tube. Her son was frequently ill, and she documented every single detail of his illness on Facebook and her blog. Lacey was diagnosed with Munchausen syndrome by proxy. This disease causes a parent or a caregiver to hurt their child or whoever they're taking care of in order to gain attention or sympathy. This diagnosis prevented Lacey from serving her sentence. Although Lacey continuously denies having the disease and she honestly believes she's innocent. Timothy Ray Jones. Timothy was arrested in Mississippi after a deputy smelled the stench of death and intoxication in his car while he was being checked in a routine checkpoint. Timothy had just dumped the body of his 5 children, 4 of which were killed by strangulation and the last was beaten to death. He had also just driven their body around for a whole week. Timothy led the deputy who arrested him to Alabama, where he had dumped the bodies. On Timothy's statement, he wrote that his kids, who were between the ages of 1 to 8, were plotting to kill him and feed him to the dogs, something he definitely deserves. The prosecutors of his case are currently seeking the death penalty, but trial date is yet to be set. So that's all for this video, guys. Here are my socials, follow if you want to. Make sure you smash that like button and share this video if you're feeling really nice. And I'll see you later.